All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday, depending on when you're watching this. But welcome back to another episode of Bob Does Reviews. I got a fun one today. I kind of had this little mini series here in the works here for quite a while. And I want to talk to you, educate you on what my favorite tools are. I have a lot of tools, if you're familiar with this channel. I'm not a contractor, I'm not a plumber, I'm a simple professional homeowner, if you will. I enjoy having tools I need. I like doing do-it-yourself projects. I just built my own deck with pretty much zero knowledge. So if I can do it, you guys can do it. But today, I'm going to start off and talk about what are some of my favorite tools. All right, so today we're going to start off talking about adjustable pliers. Channel locks, as they're known as. Kind of like facial tissue is called Kleenex. Everyone's familiar with these. We all have these in our toolbox. These are real name branded channel locks from, gosh, way back in the day. These were my dad's. They're old, probably from the 70s. I'm not sure if you guys know by looking at them. These are American made, US made, and I believe the brand channel lock is still made in the USA today. But these are good pliers. They've lasted decades. It even says made in Meadville, Pennsylvania, USA. Channel lock 420 has BOS stamped on the handle here. If you guys know what that is, please chime in below. I dreaded these things. I hated using them. Even as a kid, I remember my dad trying to put the propane tanks on the grill, trying to tighten it. They slipped off. He busted his hand, and we can all relate to that. The Germans found a better solution. Enter Knipex. Or Knipex, or Knipex, however you want to say it. At work, I actually talked to the Knipex rep, and it is pronounced Knipex. Not Knipex, but Knipex. We say the K. I know it's kind of weird because in German, some things are different. The language is different. It's Knipex. It is confirmed. You can go on their website. I think they even made a YouTube video saying how to say it correctly. So let's get into this and find out why the Germans beat us again. All right, guys, so laid before you here, nice and neat, very presentable, is my Knipex collection that I have so far. And just focusing on the plier aspect, on your left we'll have the standard channel locks, and on the right we have the Knipex. Now, what makes this so much better than your old school run-of-the-mill channel locks? Right off the bat, we can kind of see the construction, how they adjust. They just kind of slide, and if these weren't lubed up correctly, these skip, and you just can't get it. You can't get it to lock it exactly how you want it. So it takes trial and error. You try to grip the bolt and see what happens. Look, if you don't have it all the way deep into the throat, you really don't get a secure purchase on that bolt. So how hard is it? How many times are you underneath the kitchen sink, underneath your car, and you have one shot? You're stretching your body out, trying to get the perfect latch on there to tighten it as you're struggling. These you're going to struggle with unless you get it all the way deep in there. And then maybe you have it wrong. You have to fidget with it and finagle it, and maybe you got it right again, but you just have the tip of it, and it's barely gripping on. So it's definitely a problem. We've all been there. We're familiar with this tool. We know how much it pains us to use. Knipex figured out all those problems. Right off the bat, if you can compare the two heads, it's a little bit different. This has a cobra grip on it, as Knipex calls it. You can kind of see there by the mouth of it, versus the channel lock. We'll put these side by side here. And just look and compare and contrast the differences between the two mouths there. Big difference, and there's a reason behind this. They put a lot of science into this. And real quick, right off the bat, look how nice and easy that is. This is not going anywhere. And the grips are a lot smaller. You can really get some good leverage on there. Nice thick pads for your palms, so you're not going to be tearing your hand up as you're trying to torque it down or loosen the bolt. Very secure. That is not going anywhere at all. So you get a fantastic purchase on your fastener and grip it nice and tight. Again, versus the channel locks, we have to struggle and undo it a little bit, get it in there, and maybe we have it if you put it all the way deep. Let's talk about adjustability. Like I said before, you have to slide these in. Not very many options. It's not totally adjustable. You can kind of see how they work on the channel locks. There's different, ignore my fingernails, I was working outside. Sorry, gentlemen. You can kind of see it has a couple different steps in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different steps, 5 different angles of attack for adjustment. Not that great. With the Knipex, again, they solved that problem. They have a lock button right here where you can make finely tuned adjustments. You can see all the teeth right here. Each little tooth is an adjustment. If I did have to make one complaint about the Knipex, it's kind of hard to fine tune it. They do tend to slide around, but it's much easier and gives you a much wider array of adjustments. They're fantastic. Absolutely love these. If you're working in a small space frequently, they have a cute little brother, if you will. I think these are what, the 6-inch Knipex Cobras, but these are fun too. Same thing as the Big Daddy here, but just smaller, much more easier to get into if you're trying to work in a tight, confined space. I absolutely love these. I don't reach for these too often. I really don't work too much with smaller, confined spaces. I just thought these because they're so cool. It's a feat of engineering to make something so small, but yet so precise and powerful. So again, gentlemen, in conclusion, do you have to spend $30, $40 on a pair of pliers? A pair of channel locks at Home Depot is about, what, $25, $28 today? These Knipex tools are about $30, $35 on Amazon. I'll drop a link below in the description. You can go to Menards if you're from the Midwest. About the same pricing too. But whenever I do a job, I always dread it. But when you reach for a tool that actually is a tool and helps you, and you don't have to fight with it, it makes that job a lot easier. I heard the term before, gives me the fizz. It gives you the fizz. These just feel good in your hand. You know when you're grabbing a good quality tool, using a good quality tool, it just makes the job much more enjoyable. You know you're going to get it done right in one try. You're not going to be fussing with it or wasting your time. So women, if you're out there watching this video, this is a great gift for your dads in your life, for your husbands, for your sons. So check out Knipex. I'm a believer. I'm sorry to Channel Locks, American made, good quality product, but Knipex just blows them out of the water. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.